This story, of course, is used often to describe conceptions of God and how people, different traditions have conflicting ideas, and sometimes they become heated, right? They don't know what God is, and it's saying that from another perspective, a broader perspective, one could see that there's truth in both presentations of God. A lot of times the presentations of God are like, we understand who God is, nobody else understands who he is at all.
Right.
They're totally wrong. And that's kind of compared to, if one guy's grabbing a tusk, he thinks he knows exactly what the elephant is like. And if someone else is grabbing its leg, he's saying, no, it's very different. But of course, I find that when we look at the Vedic literature, all the works of Vyas, then you get these multi-leveled presentations of the absolute truth, or multi-leveled presentations of God, right? Like there's Brahman, Paramātmā, Bhagavān, right?
Yeah.
That they're saying this non-dual, transcendental substance, this is God, but in three features. Some people know God as the all-pervading Brahman, right? As this divine light, this divine energy. And that is God.
Sure.
But it's just like you're holding a trunk, there's more. And some people know God is within the heart, that God enters the heart of every living being, and in this way we're all connected, and that's a voice that we can hear for guidance, et cetera, et cetera. That is the super soul, not only of the self but of the universe, that's coordinating our experience here, et cetera. And that's another level of realization of God.
Sure.
And then we would say that the full realization is to know God as a person from which both the Paramātmā and Brahman emanate. And that's sweet baby Krishna. That's the divine personal being from which everything comes.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily spiritual podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kastuba Das. Welcome to the show. It's episode 1471. Today is November 21st, 2020. Good morning, people. Good morning, Mr. K, Special K. How are you today?
Oh, I'm happy.
You are. Look at you. You look a little, you look a little sad.
No, I'm happy.
Ever see that picture of, someone said, why is Prabhupada always sad?
That was his passport photo. Someone looked at it and said, oh, you look so sad. He's like, no.
I'm in great joy right now.
That was a moment of great ecstasy.
It's sort of like you right now. You're like, I'm happy. I was like, look happy.
You don't look happy. How about that?
Don't you hate when people say that? What's the matter? Nothing's the matter. Oh, no, something's the matter. I was like, no, nothing's the matter. There's about to be something the matter if you keep asking me. People are like trying to pry. No, how's your heart feeling? How's your heart? Who are you?
Leave me alone.
Oh, Krishna. I'm going to Pittsburgh tomorrow. I'm going to hang out with Andrea Kay, Zeb, Ashley O'Hara, the whole Pittsburgh crew.
Good people.
Looking forward to it.
All right.
Anyway, things are going here.
Good. Why don't we check in with Mara?
Hey, Mara, what's going on?
Good morning. Don't miss our interview tomorrow morning with Johnny Harrison. Her newest album, Into the Forest, launches tomorrow, Friday, November 22nd. We'll be the first to chat with her about the making of the album and her message behind it. If you want to join us on Zoom, email info@wisdomofthesages.com and we'll send you the codes to log in. And that show tomorrow is going to be 8 a.m. Eastern time.
Thank you.
Well, all right. Oh, Thomas Essig is going to be there too. He forgot. He's Pittsburgh, baby. Okay. All right, Kastuba, what's up with you? What's going on?
We got a nugget.
You go to Nugget. Here it is.
Did I send it to you? Yeah.
You did. I did not read it. I didn't read it, but I'm reading it now for the first time. Let's see if I can extract some juice from it.
Okay, what is it?
The parable of the birdmen and an elephant.
No, it's not the parable of the birdman. Oh. Why are you so into
man.
bird people?
The blind man and the elephant.
That's
I
right,
tell
the
you, I'm
blind-
still jet lagged, my friend. I'm
the
still
bird
jet
man.
lagged.
It's a
I got-
famous parable, Raghunath, right?
Oh yeah, I know this one. I know this
It
one.
goes way back, the Rig
Vedic
Veda.
times?
Well, the Rig Veda has a mention that it talks about blind. Oh, let's see. Oh, here we have in Adi Shankar's Bhasya in his commentary on the Chandogya Upanishad, which was written about, I guess, about 1250 years ago or something like that. He wrote, this is like people blind by birth when viewing an elephant.
Sure.
And there's a famous, in the Rig Veda, there's a statement, reality is one, though wise men speak of it variously. So there's connections in Buddhism, Jainism, it goes back.
All right, let's get into it. Here it is. Ready?
Yeah.
A group of blind men, I guess there was a group of them, heard that a strange animal called an elephant had been brought to the town.
Okay.
But none of them were aware of its shape and form. Out of curiosity, they said, "We must inspect and know it by touch, of which we are capable." So they sought it out, and they found it, and they groped about it.
Okay.
The first person whose hand landed on the trunk said, "This being is like a thick snake."
Hmm.
For another one who had reached its ear, it seemed like a kind of fan.
Floppy.
A little floppy, a little bit, big floppy.
Mhm.
As for another person whose hand was on its leg, it said, "The elephant is a pillar like a tree trunk."
Okay.
A blind man who placed his hand upon its side said, "The elephant's more like a wall."
Mhm.
Another who felt its tail said, "It's more like a thin rope." The last felt its tusk and said, "The elephant is that which is hard, smooth, like a spear."
Okay.
In some versions, the blind men also discover their disagreements, suspect the other is not to be telling the truth, and come to blows.
Well,
You don't even know who they're fighting, though, because they're blind.
they do have other senses.
Oh, this guy, this smells like my enemy here.
Well, they talk. They do talk, right? Blind people do have some idea of who they're dealing with.
You never know. Sort of like
All
a
right.
piñata. You're whacking anybody.
Yeah, that's true.
The stories also differ primarily in how the elephant's body parts are described, how violent the conflict becomes, and how or if the conflict among the men and their perspective is ever resolved. In some
So
versions, they
what you're
stop
reading
talking.
now is like a description of the story rather than continuing to tell the story.
Yeah, it's just like how other storytellers embellish it, perhaps.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
In some versions, they stop talking, they start listening, collaborate to see the full elephant. In another, a sighted man enters the parable and describes the entire elephant from various perspectives. The blind men then learn that they were all partially correct and partially wrong. While one subjective experience is true, it may not be the totality of truth.
Okay.
Yep, that's us basically. We have human senses, and therefore we're seeing things from human view of reality, which strangely is always will be partial truth. We can't see objectively. Why? Because we are in a human machine, and therefore the human lens, is not the gold standard of seeing. We accept that there's a higher standard of seeing. I'm looking at Mara right now. Thinks she looks like this. She looks nothing like this. According to a fly.
Really?
No, she doesn't. You're seeing her with this human lens. According to a fly, she looks completely different. According to an alligator, she looks different, right? According
Maybe, I'm
to
not sure.
according to a demigod, she looks different.
All right.
Yeah, we are subject to this human, which is a very thin slice of not was the opposite of objective, subjective reality. So we have subjective reality. And the problem is we're trying to figure out absolute truth with subjective, limited senses. Big problem.
Big problem.
So the Vedas teach from an objective reality. Very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, the Vedic literature could be compared to the when it mentioned that in some stories a person with sight steps into the parable.
Sure.
In another, a sighted man enters the parable and describes the entire elephant from various perspectives. The blind men then learned that they were all partially correct and partially wrong. And, this story, of course, is used often to describe conceptions of God and how people, different traditions have conflicting ideas, and sometimes they even become heated, right? They don't know what God is. And it's saying that from another perspective, a broader perspective, one could see that there's truth in both presentations of God. A lot of times the presentations of God are like, we understand who God is. Nobody else understands who he is at all.
Right.
They're totally wrong. And that's kind of compared to, if one guy's grabbing a tusk, he thinks he knows exactly what the elephant is like. And if someone else is grabbing its leg, he's saying, no, it's very different. But I of course, I find that when we look at the Vedic literature, all the works of Vyas, then you get these multi-leveled presentations of the absolute truth, or multi-leveled presentations of God, right? Like there's Brahman, Paramātmā, Bhagavān, right?
Yeah.
That they're saying this non-dual transcendental substance, this is God, but in three features. Some people know God as the all-pervading Brahman, right? As this divine light, this divine energy. And that is God.
Sure.
But it's just like you're holding a trunk, there's more. And some people know God is within the heart, that God enters the heart of every living being, and in this way we're all connected, and that's a voice that we can hear for guidance, et cetera, et cetera. That is the super soul, not only of the self, but of the universe, that's coordinating our experience here, et cetera. And that's another level of realization of God.
Sure.
And then we would say that the full realization is to know God as a person from which both the Paramātmā and Brahman emanate. And that's sweet baby Krishna. That's the divine personal being from which everything comes.
Just like some people, when they see me on Zoom or they see me on YouTube and they say, oh, that's Super Soul Farm. That's where and they know me from this vantage point. This is the vantage point I give the podcast from.
But you're so much
every
more.
day. But I'm so much more. You get to know me. Or no, my friend. Then there's Google Earth, and they'll say, "Oh, you could go to Google Earth. Oh, that's Super Soul Farm. I can see the layout of the property." And then you could also be sitting under the desk playing hide and seek. When Kostuba comes over, we play certain child games. So I'll hide under the desk and I'll say, "This is Super Soul Farm. Come find me." They're all the same place, but they're from different vantage points. Just trying to make it a little bit more.
Maybe sometimes you feel that people know you as the singer of a hardcore band, and then other people know you as like a yoga teacher.
Yeah. But Mara knows an intimate side of me that I don't share with everybody.
Oh. What's it like, Mara? Tell the truth.
It's dark.
Why is she giggling? In the dark side.
Clammy. Sad place.
Sad. He's a sad man.
He's deeply sad. He's the tears of a clown.
He cries a lot. He puts on a show 1 hour a day on the podcast.
Goes home and cries in the corner.
Then she puts him back together for the next day. But I had lunch with some really nice. Do you know Vaikuntha Prabhu from San Diego?
Yes. Yeah.
I had lunch with him and his wife Janavi yesterday.
What did you say?
I had lunch with him and his wife Janavi.
And his wife Janavi. Yeah, they were. I hung out with them in. Where was I? Deva Madhava's place.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because I think Deva Madhava is their son-in-law.
I haven't seen them in years. I stayed at their house a long time ago. They're just like people that are just like Nice, nice.
They're just good to the
devotees.
core.
It's like
right?
nice
It's just like,
people.
come on, show me some little agitation here. Give me a
I
little,
know.
give me a little something to work with here.
There's people that you meet, like these are the people that you want to meet as devotees. That just sort of like, I want to be them. I want to
They
get
don't
what they
have
got.
any hang-ups, these people.
Yeah.
They were sharing with me that there's people in Ypsilanti and that like the people's parents are getting into the podcast.
Ooh.
Like,
Interesting.
yeah, the devotees, their parents are like finding parents from Ypsilanti. If you're listening to this, we deeply appreciate your listenership. Thank you.
This
Thank
bud's
you.
for you.
Yeah. And but anyway, they were saying like, yeah, we saw Shelter play before.
Parents said that?
No. Vaikunta said that.
Oh, he said,
yeah,
I think in
they
the very, very old days.
yeah.
Because
he said
Shelter stayed at his house when we were all like when Shelter
Oh, yeah.
very first started, when we still wore
right,
like
right.
brahmachari orange clothes on stage.
On stage, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he said they brought me to that concert that they did, and it was like great what was going on there, but I couldn't understand anything that was happening. Like I couldn't understand any of the words. They all knew all the words, like everybody there, but it was
Pretty
really
interesting
loud.
phenomenon. No one knows.
And I was
that.
like, Prabhu, this is not Crosby, Stills and Nash, okay? This is like, this is
Some devotees
another-
are expecting, a musical concert. Let's go. And they're like, what did we sign up for?
yeah.
Yeah, this is interesting, the hardcore phenomenon. Like everybody knows the words, although no one can understand them.
Anyway, people might know you in different ways. They may know you as a hardcore singer. They may know you as a yoga teacher. They may know you as the guy in Brindavan having a lassi.
Yeah. But
Which also reminds me, and what that parable of the parable of the elephant is so great for us because it works on like we're saying we understand God, and we also believe the Christians understand God, and we also believe that the Buddhists understand something kind of about God. And we also believe the Jews and the Native Americans, et cetera, that they're perceiving something, that those that are deep into it, that those that found the essence of
more.
it. Well, it's not that we know more exactly, but we are saying that these texts go into far more detail.
They do. They give you an overall perspective of all of it. Not what's the word? Not dissing the other paths, but seeing how they all fit together in the puzzle of absolute truth.
Yeah, you're going to get a very thorough theology by the time you get to Bhagavatam. I mean, you really do. And I was thinking that so that another way this plays out is not just on the level of like theology of like what is God like, like in a very general sense. Like, is God a person or is God an energy? Oh, no, he's both. Like there's that level of where this parable works.
What?
Yeah, but there's also like on the level of rasa, who is Krishna, and of course there's that famous verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto. Can you think of what I'm thinking of?
Raso vai.
Well, that's there's that verse that actually will be brought up in the commentary to this, but the verse that I'm thinking of from Bhagavatam, from Krishna's Leela in Bhagavatam, that this parable might relate to. Put on your thinking cap.
It's too early for me to think.
Okay.
Tell me, please.
When
Let's stump
Krishna-
sleepy old
when
Raghunath.
Krishna- When Krishna
Let's
enters,
stump jet-lagged Raghunath.
when Krishna
not fun.
enters,
Vrindavan?
oh,
Mathura?
the
Mathura?
it's in Mathura, the wrestling
The
arena.
Wrestling arena?
Yes, excellent. Well done.
Hey, just say it. I'm jet-lagged.
Just, all right.
We're going to make Raghunath look real dumb. He's already a little dumb. Now we're going to make
I could drag it out a little bit longer. The W E Re. When Krishna enters the wrestling arena, there's this incredibly fascinating verse, right? That Krishna's entered Mathura. He's this handsome youngster that's entered into a new world. He's been living in the village his whole life.
Oh, I understand what you're saying. He
And
appears
everybody-
differently to everybody.
According to their rasa, according to how they know him or how they relate to him, they see him different.
The wrestlers see him as death personified.
Let me, if I quiz you
Oh,
on
you
this,
gonna
you're
read it?
going to get them right?
Okay, quiz me on it.
Okay. That means he's waiting. Okay.
Quiz me on it.
The various groups. So here's the idea, right? That Krishna went he left Vrindavan and went to the village of Vrindavan, went to the city of Mathura for the purpose of freeing his parents, his birth parents, who were trapped in the prison of the evil tyrant Kamsa.
Mm.
And so Kamsa arranged for this wrestling match, which was really kind of like him rigging it, that these huge wrestlers would just like beat down these like teenagers.
Yeah.
But
horrible.
it was really not nice. But when Krishna enters that arena, according to where your heart was at in relation to God, in relation to Krishna, you would see him in a different way. So the various groups, this is the verse. This is Srimad Bhagavatam, a 10th canto, 43rd chapter, text 17. The various groups of people in the arena regarded Krishna in different ways when he entered it with his elder brother, Balaram. The wrestlers saw Krishna as
death personified. No, that's Kamsa. Kamsa, death personified. The wrestlers as a formidable foe.
As a lightning bolt.
Okay, close. Go on.
Yeah. The men of Mathura,
the most handsome.
As
the most handsome.
The best of males.
Okay. Yeah.
The women as
the most beautiful.
Cupid personified.
Close.
Yeah. So also coming from Vrindavan were the other cowherd men. The cowherd men as?
I don't know.
As their relative.
Okay.
They had that kind of affection. Everybody has the women, they have a romantic affection for him. They see him as Cupid personified, right? The men from the cowherd village, they're like, he's one of us. He's from our village. He's one of our relatives. The impious rulers as a chastiser. Like he's come to set us straight, right? His parents as
the most adorable son.
Yeah, as their child. The king of the Bhojas, Kamsa, as
death personified.
As death.
You forgot the yogis. The yogis saw him as the Paramātmā.
The unintelligent as the Supreme Lord's universal form.
Okay. All right.
And the yogis as
the Paramātmā, the super soul.
Yeah, here it says as the absolute truth.
Krishna book says. Krishna book.
Yeah, in Krishna book I think it says it like that. Here I'm reading the translation straight from Bhagavatam. And the Vrishnis, those that were part of his dynasty.
Their dear relative.
The supreme worshipable deity. Okay. Interesting, right? So
I got about a 40% on that.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, you were mostly right.
Like a D.
Yeah. So here's some commentary on that. Ready? Yeah. Srila Sridhar Swami quotes the following verse, which explains the 10 attitudes towards Krishna described here. There are 10 different moods: fury, perceived by the wrestlers; wonder, by the men; conjugal attraction, from the women; laughter, from the cowherds; chivalry, from the kings; mercy, from his parents; terror, from Kamsa; ghastliness, from the unintelligent; peaceful neutrality, from the yogis; and loving devotion, from the Vrishnis, from his relatives. Interesting, right? So there's a fascinating science of rasa, science of the different moods and taste of love that's given in that's applied in devotion to Krishna, that just takes the theology to a whole nother level. Right.
Sure. Yeah. Good one. Good one, Kastuba. You tied it in with the story. All right. So we're going to go into the Srimad Bhagavatam now.
Are we?
Ready?
I am.
Rayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan. Unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshvabhadreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Gyana Tamarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmadatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 12, Text 9. We're in a good place here. Those who are known as impersonalist Vedantists. Okay, study Vedanta.
So who's speaking? Who's speaking? Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is glorifying Lord Vishnu.
Those who are known as impersonalist Vedantists regard you as the impersonal Brahman. Others known as the Mimamsikas philosophers regard you as religion. The Shankya philosophers regard you as the transcendental person who is beyond Prakriti and Purusha, and who is the controller of even the demigods. The followers of the codes of devotional service, known as Pancharatras, regard you as being endowed with 9 different potencies. And the Patanjala philosophers, the followers of Patanjali Muni, regard you as the supreme independent personality of Godhead who has no equal or superior.
Okay. So there you get a similar idea, right? This is a verse that will mean more to people who study classical Indian philosophies, right? But each one of these is saying that all of these different schools of philosophy, they all have a different conception of the absolute truth, the supreme. And it's saying that their philosophies all ultimately aim towards you. You're the one that they see at the end of their path, even though they may not know it.
This is Lord Shiva talking. This is Lord Shiva talking.
Yes. He's saying, even though they may not know it, you're the one that they're focused on. Right.
That's why when I see Christians on the street and they try to preach to me and I say, I 100% believe in Jesus. I believe he is the pure devotee of little Lord Krishna.
And they're like, oh, you poor
lost.
I pray for you.
No. I'm seeing it together.
They're like, no, you don't understand.
I'm worshiping Christ on Christmas. I'm doing all the right things. I truly believe I'm a better Christian today than I've ever been.
How great of a Christian are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm up there with maybe not the Pope, but like a bishop or a cardinal.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Text 11.
10.
I wonder what you and I would be if we were Catholics. Would we be just, people going to church? Would we be
lay
cardinals?
people?
You'd be more like a bishop, I think.
A bishop? I don't know. I don't know if I could deal with the outfit.
You know what? Sometimes you got to surrender. Sometimes I don't like wearing dhotis. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Now I wear my dhoti the way I want to wear it too.
See?
I'm an old guy. I'm just gonna put the thing on the way I want to
wrap
put it.
this thing on.
Yeah.
But I think you'd be bishop. What would I be, Mayor? I could be more like a John the Baptist, like a sort of a
I don't think I'd be
walking around.
John the Baptist.
That's how I see myself.
Repent. I don't know. I don't know what I'd be as a Catholic, honestly.
I think you'd be like a cardinal.
No, I don't think
sort of
so.
official, wearing
but I don't have any official role in ISKCON.
You're senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York.
Well, but the Bhakti Center is not even actually part of ISKCON, and I don't really even do that anymore. So,
well, you got to rebrand yourself because
and that's certainly not like being a cardinal
every day.
That's like being a teacher. That's not like being a cardinal.
Okay, let's get back to this. But whatever you are, I think you're up for Pope. I'd vote you in for Pope.
Whatever you are. But I worship you. You know where that's from? From Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Oh, I thought we were going to say from Popeye. I am what I am.
No. Advaita Acharya says to Nityananda, whatever you are, but I worship you, like that.
Okay. Oh, my Lord, I, who am considered to be the best of the demigods, and Lord Brahma and the great rishis, headed by Marichi, are born of the mode of goodness. Nonetheless, we are bewildered by your illusory energy and cannot understand what this creation is. Aside from us, what is it to be said of others? Like
what is to be said?
What is to be said of others like the demons and the human beings who are in the base modes of material nature, Raja and Tamaguna? How are they to know you? Like, we are so lost. We're like animals trying to speculate about the universe.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Yeah, if Brahma and Shiva can't fully understand, then what to speak of us who are just like these tiny, clueless,
We're like insects.
little blind mice, like
We're
running
three
around.
blind, you, me, and Mara, three blind mice trying to like feel around in the dark and try to speculate about the absolute truth.
Sniffing around a little bit.
Sniffing, feeling sniffing. Oh, my Lord. Oh,
Speaking of my
interestingly
Lord,
enough, my
Text
Lord,
11.
text 11. Oh, my Lord, you are the supreme knowledge personified. You know everything about this creation and its beginning, maintenance, and annihilation. And you know all the endeavors made by the living entities by which they are either implicated in this material world or liberated from it. Isn't that interesting? Poor actions implicate you more in the material world. It's like a glue trap. There's probably, if you get in a glue trap, you have to like 1 foot in, you got to use your other foot, your other limbs to get you out of that glue trap. Like maybe like put your hands on the ground, shake it, shake it, shake it, get that foot out of the glue trap. But the problem is without knowledge, you try to get out of the glue trap by putting your other hand in the glue trap. And then they're like, okay, now this thing's trapped. It just gets worse and worse and worse. Okay.
My Lord.
As the air
What?
enters the vast sky and also enters the bodies.
What? Are you? Oh, you're still in the middle of that verse. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. As the air enters the vast sky and also enters the bodies of all moving and unmoving entities, you are present everywhere, and therefore you are the knower of all.
Yeah.
My
Literally,
Lord.
Vishnu means that which pervades. You're everywhere. You're on another. Shiva saying you're on another level. I'm not like you. I might be high up on the relative universal scale, but you're on the absolute scale. You are, in one sense, you are everything.
I may get a tattoo of Nandi today, by the way.
Nandi.
Yeah, Nandi.
Where?
I don't know where. Oh, wait, who's going to do it? Dustin.
On your body. No, where on your body?
Dustin from Dead Presidents. I was thinking of my shoulder. Like
Nandi the bull.
Chest. Nandi the
Why
bull.
Nandi?
I like him. The great devotee of Lord
There's
Shiva.
probably a lot of characters you like.
This great devotee of Lord Shiva.
What about Garuda?
I've got Garuda tattoo.
Do you?
Yeah, right here, my arm, my gun.
Oh, that's right. Your
Say
gun.
nothing.
Wow, okay.
As the air enters the vast sky, it also enters the bodies of all moving and non-moving entities. You are present everywhere, and therefore you are the knower of all. My Lord, I have seen all kinds of incarnations, and you have exhibited by your transcendental qualities. And now that you have appeared as a beautiful young woman, I wish to see that form of your lordship. So Lord Shiva wants to see, okay, what is this form Vishnu turned into that bewildered everybody? Shiva wants to see it.
Yeah.
Careful what you wish for.
Yeah, it's almost like he's like, he just, for about 10 verses, he glorified Krishna in great detail, expressing that he really ontologically knows who Krishna is and the power that he possesses, the unlimited power that he possesses. And now he's saying, show me the form of a beautiful woman that you take that bewilders everyone. And I think it's almost like he wants to be overpowered by Krishna's energy, Yeah. And he doesn't have the kind of hangups that we have. Like, it seems like he's not concerned about being embarrassed by this, He's like actually appreciates it in a sense. So he says, please show me that form.
My Lord, we have come here desiring to see that form of your lordship, which you showed to the demons to captivate them completely, and in this way enable the demigods to drink nectar. I'm very eager to see that form. Now, Sukadeva Goswami said, he's the narrator, when Lord Vishnu was thus requested by Lord Shiva, who carries a trident in his hand, he smiled with gravity and replied to Lord Shiva as follows. When the demons took away the jug of nectar, I assumed the form of a beautiful woman to bewilder them by directly cheating them and thus to act in the interest of the demigods. O best of the demigods, Shiva, I shall now show you my form that is very much appreciated by those who are lusty. Since you want to see that form, I shall reveal it to you, reveal it in your presence.
Okay. Here we go.
I wonder if Shiva thought like, oh, I'm just going to see it. You know, big deal. I'm just going to see this form. Like, no big deal. Just let me see it. Curious.
Maybe.
Right? But look what happens next. Sukadeva Goswami continued. After speaking in this way, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, immediately disappeared. And Lord Shiva remained there with Uma.
Where did he go?
That's his partner. Looking for him all around with moving eyes. Therefore, in a nice forest nearby, in a nice forest nearby, full of trees with reddish pink leaves and varieties of flowers, Lord Shiva saw a beautiful woman playing with a ball. So funny. She's playing with a ball, like da, 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 like bouncing a ball.
I don't think was
like
that
that's
kind of
supposed to
music.
be very sexy, I think.
It was when
It
she
is.
did it. Yeah.
Okay. Her hips were covered with a shining sari and ornamented with a belt. Hare Krishna.
Are you going to be able to keep it together?
Yes.
For this Raghunath?
Because
just
the
tell me
ball
right
was
now. I can read it if need
because
be.
the ball was falling down and bouncing up as she played it.
Oh God, you're not going to be able to handle this.
I am. Because the ball was falling down and bouncing up as she played with it, her breasts trembled. Like her breasts are also bouncing like the balls.
Yes.
Like the ball.
Keep yourself together. Right?
And because of the
You're
weight
becoming
of those
bewildered by this
breasts-
form right now.
I am.
You're falling
because
apart.
the weight of those breasts and her heavy flowery garlands, her waist appeared to be all but breaking at every step as her two soft feet, which were reddish like coral, moved here and there. The woman's face was decorated by broad, beautiful, restless eyes, which moved as the ball bounced here and there in her hand. The two brilliant earrings on her ears decorated her shining cheeks like bluish reflections, and the hair scattered on her face made her even more beautiful to see.
Wow.
As she played with the ball, the sari covering her body became loose, and her hair scattered. She tried to bind her hair with her beautiful left hand, but at the same time she played with the ball by striking it with her right hand. This was so attractive that the Supreme Lord, by his internal potency, in this way captivated everyone. So this is like the sexiest, most attractive thing you could ever imagine.
That's what it is.
This is what's going on. While Lord Shiva observed the beautiful woman playing with the ball, she sometimes glanced at him and slightly smiled in bashfulness. Like if a woman smiles at you, it's like, it's even more. It's one thing if it's just a beautiful woman, but imagine if a woman just looks at you and just like smiles and it's like,
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah.
I am.
You are sober.
I'm sober. There's like nothing for me here. Not what I want. I want Krishna. As he looked at the beautiful woman and she watched him, he forgot both himself and Uma. He forgot his wife. He sits with his wife, his most beautiful wife. It's not like Uma wasn't easy on the eyes. Uma's like breathtaking goddess.
Yeah.
He also forgot his associates, which were nearby. When the ball leaped from her
because he kind of
hand-
has his disciples with him too. You know, he's got his
Yeah,
wife.
it's like
he's got his
and he's
disciples.
like very, he's Shiva. He's very renounced. He's the greatest of yogis. When the ball leaped from her hand and fell at a distance, the woman began to follow it. Now she's running after this ball. But as Lord Shiva observed these activities, a breeze suddenly blew away the fine dress and belt that covered her. What? All right, this is getting more and more sexy. Thus, Lord Shiva saw the woman, every part of whose body was beautifully formed, and the beautiful woman also looked at him coyly. I made that up, but that's probably how she looked. Therefore, thinking that she was attracted to him, Lord Shiva became very much attracted to her. That's even more attractive than seeing a beautiful person. If that beautiful person is sort of like attracted to you, laugh.
deal with
Men,
that.
men are
You deal with that
so
all the time.
path- I don't. But men are so pathetically easy to charm, aren't they? A pretty woman just has to like smile, laugh at something you say, and you're like, oh my God. That's called beauty privilege. We talk about white privilege, male privilege, beauty privilege. Beautiful
Okay.
people can get away with murder and have. Lord Shiva,
Manipulate
his
people.
good sense taken away by the woman because of lusty desires to enjoy with her, became so mad for her that even in the presence of Bhavani, right, his wife, he did not hesitate to approach her. The beautiful woman was already naked, and when she saw Lord Shiva coming toward her, she became extremely bashful. Thus she kept smiling, but she hid herself amongst the trees and did not stand in one place. His senses being agitated, Lord Shiva, victimized by lusty desires, began to follow her, just as a lusty elephant follows a she-elephant. After following her with great speed, Lord Shiva caught her by the braid of her hair and dragged her near him. Although she was unwilling, he embraced her with his arms. Being embraced by Lord Shiva like a female elephant embraced by a male, the woman whose hair was scattered swirled like a snake. O king, this woman who had large, high hips, I guess means she's long-legged, was a woman
I
of
think it
yoga.
means that they're. Anyway. I don't know if it means that her legs are necessarily long.
Well, if her hips are high, that means her legs are long.
High, like raised. It's like, like her body is firm. It's not sagging. It's like they're high like that, I would imagine is what it means.
Body shaming. She released herself somehow or other from the fond embrace of Lord Shiva's arms and ran away. Okay.
So Lord Shiva, what Vishnu is doing to Shiva is he's not just saying, I can attract you. He's
Right.
saying, with my potency, I can make you lose your mind with ease.
Okay. Martine on the message board said, well, this sounds like a violent picture. Drag her by the hair. Oh, come on. I mean, there's something, I think there's something sexy. You know what I mean?
Okay.
When a man grabs a woman by the hair, and it's because she was flirting with him. And then again, it's not like he's dragging her by the hair, Martine. Come on, Martine.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
We're trying to
like
embrace this passionate scene here. He did drag
Okay.
her, but it could be like, oh, come here, you beautiful woman. Some women like to be.
She's unwilling.
Ravished.
She's unwilling, I know, but she's sort of coyly unwilling. You know what I mean? Like, oh no, don't stop. That type of thing,
Raghunath, no means no, okay?
Well, makes. Okay, let's turn this into a
Let's keep
Raghunath
reading.
hashtag Me Too moment. Oh, Krishna. How did I get in this? How did I get involved in this? I didn't do anything wrong.
No, it's just the things you've been saying. But go ahead, keep reading.
As if harassed by an enemy in the form of lusty desires, Lord Shiva followed the path of Lord Vishnu, who acts very wonderfully and who had taken the form of Mohini. Just as a maddened bull elephant follows a female elephant who is able to conceive pregnancy, Lord Shiva followed the beautiful woman and discharged semen, even though his discharge of semen never goes in vain.
So in other words, he's normally totally controlled, but he lost control.
Everybody, it's good news. What happened? O king, whosoever on the surface of the globe fell. O king, whosoever on the surface of the wheresoever on the surface of the globe fell the semen of the great personality, Lord Shiva, mines of gold and silver later appeared.
Okay.
Interesting. Following Mohini, I wonder if that's literal or just symbolic.
I don't know what it'd be symbolic of, but
This is like an auspicious place or actual mines of gold. Following Mohini, Lord Shiva went everywhere, near the shores of the rivers and the lakes, near the mountains, near the forests, near the gardens, and wherever there lived great sages. O best of kings,
Now, you got to imagine this, right? So Vishnu not only captivates the mind and attracts Lord Shiva, he embarrasses him by making him lose his mind. And then as Mohini, she starts running all over the place and intentionally runs past the places where the great sages who worship Lord Shiva live, who have the highest respect for Lord Shiva, just so that he can, just show that he has absolutely no control. Even in front of the sages, he's lost it.
Sometimes men do some embarrassing things because of lust.
Thank you for that.
Shiva.
That's a takeaway, Mara. Note that one down.
And Lord Shiva is actually doing right. Yeah. Thus, Lord Shiva, Maharaj Pariksit, O best of the kings, when Lord Shiva has fully discharged semen, he could see how he himself had been victimized by the illusion created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, he restrained himself from any further Maya. Thus, Lord Shiva could understand his position and that of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who had thus unlimited potencies. Having reached this understanding, he was not at all surprised by the wonderful way Lord had acted upon him. Isn't that interesting? Right after sex, then people become sober. Right after the act of sex.
Well, I don't know if it exactly relates to that, but the way that I understand it is that Vishnu showed him that I'm all powerful and I can control you. And Shiva appreciated, once he had completely, dominated him that way, then he just released it. And Shiva could understand, wow, I wanted to see it and he really blew my mind,
Some of the semen also became the seed of Hanuman. That's why Hanuman is also the son of Shiva.
What are you talking about?
You don't know this?
No.
Some of the semen became...
A comic book? Where did you pick this up?
I think you should go back to Shastra. Some of the seed of Shiva got carried by the wind. And then it got with Anjana. And so Hanuman is known as Vayuputra. He's also known as the son of Shiva. And he's also known as the son of whomever Anjana is married to. He has 3 fathers. Little Hanuman Kripa from me to you. You take it.
I'm not sure if I accept it, but okay, thank you.
It is. Google that. Mara, Google that right now. Hanuman is 3 fathers. Who are Hanuman's 3 fathers, Mara? Put that in. Seeing Lord Shiva unagitated, unashamed, Lord Vishnu was very pleased, and thus he resumed his original form and spoke as follows.
That's interesting, though, right? Like normally,
my thing was interesting, and you just doubted it.
Well, I'm more interested in what the Bhagavān says. I'm sorry.
Well, I heard it from Radhanath Swami.
Okay, that's all you had to say.
Now, no, I want to see if you just believe me.
I don't necessarily believe you, Raghunath. I'm sorry.
All right, well, you should. I don't believe you then. I don't believe you then. How about that?
All right, that's fine.
Mara's got some info, I think.
Okay, Mara.
No, she didn't. She's running late. What do you got?
According to Hindu legends, Hanuman was born to mother Anjana and father Keshari. Hanuman is also known as the son of the deity Vayu, the wind god, because of legends associated with Vayu's role. And Hanuman's birth is said to be the incarnation of Lord Shiva.
We didn't seem to tie them together, though. We need more, Mara. We need more.
I gave more info.
Yeah, but we're trying to substantiate that. Raghunath, it's not. That was the whole point.
Question me not, Kostuba, for I'm the giver of his word.
Doubtful one.
There's more.
According to Wikipedia, let's see. Hanuman is traditionally believed to be the spiritual offspring of the wind deity Vayu, who is said to have played a significant role in his birth. In Shiva tradition, he is regarded to be an incarnation of Shiva.
In Shiva tradition, interesting. Okay, not our tradition. Continue.
Not necessarily the son. But while in most of the Vaishnav traditions, he is the son and incarnation of Vayu.
Vayu. Why are you pointing at me like that? Just proved your point. It didn't.
Yeah, because Vayu carried the seed.
Oh, okay.
Get it? Get it?
See if you can find that, Mara. See if you can find that.
Anyway. For the doubting soul, Kastuba, there is neither pleasure in this life nor the next.
That's true.
Remember that.
Does
Write
that
that
mean
down.
doubting anything?
Yeah, put that as a takeaway for Kastuba. Kastuba, you get your own list of takeaways for you that are exclusively for you.
I have some further information from Road Rage on the board.
Oh,
In
yeah.
the Agni Purana, as the enchanted Shiva follows Mohini, drops of his semen fall on the ground and become lingas, Shiva's symbols.
Okay.
His seed also generates the monkey god Hanuman, who helps Vishnu's avatar Ram in his fight against Ravana in the Ramayana.
I'm not saying it. Road Rage is.
No, he's saying the Agni Purana says it. That's the difference.
There you go.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Raghunath.
Thank you,
for
everybody.
sharing that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The doubting
Thank
soul,
you
there's
for
neither
sharing that.
happiness in this life nor the next.
I feel happy right now. I think it's a question of.
You're not.
I feel happy in this
finally-
life right
Because you're
now.
finally accepting what I'm saying. Seeing Lord Shiva unagitated and unashamed, Lord Vishnu, Madhusudana, was very pleased. Thus, he resumed his original form and spoke as follows.
Okay, let's pick up there tomorrow
Yeah,
because we're out
okay.
of time.
It's a cliffhanger on Monday.
Okay,
Actually, wait a second. Tomorrow, you interview John.
Tomorrow, I interview Johnny.
Harrison.
Then it's Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, so it would be on Monday.
What are you going to ask her?
I'm going to ask
Maybe
her about
people-
her new record, Into
know,
the
but-
Forest.
Okay. Anything else?
You want me to ask her about Vayu and Shiva's seed? Is that where you want me to go?
No.
All right. Well,
No.
what are you getting at?
I don't know. Thought you might have some other questions about her.
Well,
All right.
the main topic will be her new record, and we'll see where
Ask
it
her
goes.
if she ever met George Harrison. Curious.
She
about
didn't. I don't think.
Mara, takeaways.
What, you're upset with me now, Rogue, because I doubted you. I'm sorry,
You
Raghunath.
doubt everything I say.
Sorry, I doubted you.
I can't even have
don't
a
doubt everything
conversation
you
with
say.
you. I can't teach you anything. Is that what's going on?
No, it's just sometimes these kind of areas. Sometimes
You know what? You are like a blind man holding a trunk, and you're trying to understand me, and you can't. 'Cause
I'm not trying to understand
I'm a
you.
multifaceted being.
I just want to verify some of the information that you share. That's all, Raghunath. You don't have to take it personally.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't.
Are you sure?
You do.
What?
Mara, please help him.
We have some takeaways.
Help him. Help this poor boy.
Our human senses are limited and we can only see partial truth.
Yeah.
Hear that.
Hear that,
Take it-
Christopher.
take it
Hear
in.
that. Thank you.
We're trying to find absolute truth with subjective lenses.
It's for you. That one's for you.
Okay.
Bhagavatam gives all the vantage points of God.
And so do the comic books.
See, right there. That's where the issue lies.
The material world is a glue trap.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Be careful what you wish for, Mahadev.
Oh, that's good. That's funny.
Sometimes men do embarrassing things because of lust.
Yeah.
Not women. They never
do too.
They never do embarrassing things.
Okay.
Believe Bhagavatam.
That's what I believe, Raghunath.
I believe.
And
Yeah.
how great of a Christian are you?
He's a great Christian. Raghunath is a great Christian. He's one of the
John the
best Christians
Baptist.
out there.
You're one of those old popes from like 1700s.
Raghunath, why are you so insulted? Let it go. Just want to verify your story.
Ordinary old pope. Ordinary old popes.
Now you got to turn me into some.
What's higher, a
Reactionary
cardinal
people.
or a bishop?
Oh, I don't know.
I think cardinals are higher. Cardinals. Thank you, Sean. I love when the Catholics come out full.
Krishna